Hello, I'm Steven, the calculator guy, and I want to talk about Wonderland time, 9-9ing, and now, finally, looping. So, let's start off with what is time. Well, you probably know what time is. It's a reserve currency token similar to Ohm that rebases 3 times every day, which means it accrues interest 3 times every day, which compounds over time, giving you some ridiculous APY like 91,605. And that APY increases when people bond a lot, which just means people are contributing liquidity pool tokens to the protocol so they can make fees off of, people swapping things back and forth. Now that we have that out of the way, what is 9-9? 9-9 is the process of taking one of these cool rebase liquidity fancy reserve currency tokens like Time or Ohm or Clima or Z20 or Exot or Heck, or there's so many, SPA or One DAO, all these tokens, right? You take the token, you stake it, and you get a receipt token in return. You take that receipt token to another protocol, and you collateralize it. You borrow some money against that collateral, you buy some more of the token, you stake that token, and you continue to do that process as many times as you want. That's what looping is. But 9-9ing is just collateralize your receipt token, buying more money, getting more of the token, and staking it. Like that's 9-9 at that point. You've done the 9-9. Looping is doing that over and over and over again, collateralizing and recollateralizing and recollateralizing, and getting smaller and smaller borrows every time, but maximizing what you can stake in and therefore maximizing your APY. So let's look at it, right? So on Abracadabra, good luck ever actually getting to borrow. If you go on Twitter, and my Twitter always goes to David Moss. If you go to Twitter, there are 2 bots that can help you. There is the Mim replenishes, and there's also the Mim sniper, or what is it? Sniper. Is it? I think it's Mim sniper. Yeah. Also the meme sniper. So if you follow this one, it'll tell you whenever someone repays their loan too, so you can get your wrap meme really fast. But these are all, you're seeing most of them are for the Y curve Phantom, but also some of the other ones. Yeah, very rarely do we see anyone pay back their wrap memo because it's a hold. It's a hold and get the rebases, right? People aren't really doing dynamic strategies with that particular cauldron. So anyways, if you can borrow against your wrap memo, then here's what is cool about that. So let's say you have 1 wrap memo because you got some money like that, right? 1 wrap memo is $130,000, which is quite a bit. If you borrowed $100,000 against that, I don't think you'd be allowed to. Yeah, $10,000. What you'll notice is that the liquidation price is 33%, 33.33%, repeating, 33% more than your borrowed amount. What that means is that there's a 33% buffer on this for liquidation. So when the price gets so low that the value of your collateral is within 33% of the value of your assets, you are at risk of being liquidated. There's a 10% liquidation fee, so they really want to make sure that there's this buffer so that they can pay the liquidation fee, that they can get their money back by liquidating your position, and that's that. So that's just all it is. So you'll notice the liquidation price is 33% above what you're borrowing. That's because they have a 33% buffer for liquidation, and that's kind of important to know that. All right, so if you were to do just this basic strategy, let's say we do 90,000, right? Cool. You can borrow 90,000. You go take it over to Trader Joe. You buy some more time. You stake it. What's your new APY? Right? We don't know. Well, you can come over to this really fancy calculator someone made. I don't know who did that. It was me. And plug in some numbers. Right? So with Wonderland time, the current with Abracadabra money, the current value of wrap memo is this. So I'm just gonna Control-Shift-V, which is, what? That's not right. Did I miss a 1? I missed a 1. There we go. That's what it should be. Let's put a dollar sign on that. Yep. Okay. Liquidation buffer 33%. That's true. Rebase rate 0.6248. Let's type that in. 0.6248. The amount of minting with this protocol is absurd. I genuinely believe that there are some bots out there that are automating this process for wealthy investors, and that's what's driving this consistent bonding processes. I also know that Penguin Finance maybe is trying to create a system for this for retail investors. So this is just, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, the amount of minting that's happening is just really, really high, which means great for APY, but also means a lot of new coins are being minted at a really fast rate, which is good because it's like consistent investment. But man, it's scary, but cool. Like it's uncharted territory. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So, I mean, it's also increasing the treasury, which is, you know. Okay, so anyways, let's do one collateralized, right? Is that right? One? Yeah. All right, so me and borrowed, what do we do? 90,000? 1, 2, 3. Cool. So, one loop just means that you borrowed it. You borrowed the 90,000, but you didn't reinvest it. So at 2, then we see that you're almost immediately doubling your investment, which is absurd. So here's what happens with the second loop, right? Once you start looping, the second loop will take this 90,000 that you borrowed, purchase time with it, restake it, take that memo, wrap it, recollateralize it, then against that collateral borrow at a, in this case right now we're borrowing at a 0.7. Wow, maximized borrow, okay. At a maximized borrow, so 1.7. And it will then reinvest that. So it'll borrow 70% against that, which is really, it's as high as it goes. 70% against that, and then it will go buy some more time, get the memo, well, stake it, get the memo, wrap it, and then recollateralize it. So that's everything that's happening there, right? So it's using this money and it's using this money to buy time, stake it, get the memo, wrap it, add it to collateral. So that's why this is more than 2 times as much, because you're not only getting the 90,000 reinvested, you're also getting the second loop, the 61,000. So you're getting 150,000 more or less reinvested, which is why you go from 1 straight to 2.17 with looping, right? If you loop only once, nothing's happening. You haven't put the money back in yet. I don't think this is kind of a misnomer. I don't think it's really a loop. The first loop, in my opinion, is number 2x, but hey, maybe I just don't understand the nomenclature. So anyways, as you can see, as you continue to loop, what you're doing is you're just reinvesting the borrowed meme back into time, staking it, getting the memo, wrapping it, collateralizing, right? That's the whole process, over and over and over, each loop. That's happening over and over and over again. And you'll see that, you know, the amount is going down every time because you're borrowing 70% against your borrow rate, so it's going down by 30% that you can borrow every time. But eventually, right? Eventually, you will have like if you looped 1 against 90, if you borrowed 90,000 against 1 and you looped that, eventually at 10 loops you would have 3.22 wrapped memo, essentially, right? That's your leverage. That's how much you've leveraged towards, and you would be making a grand total of 294,576% APY, which is ridiculous, right? It's absolutely ridiculous. And if you just want to like see what loops, you could type this in and you 265, absurd. But even at 2 loops, right, which has the lowest liquidation price, so pretty safe and not, I mean, non-negligible difference. This is massive. And so, you know, definitely consider just doing the 2 loops because it takes less borrow to do that, right? So you have a higher chance of being able to access the second loop. Then again, you know, you want to add another literally 100,000% APY, well, you know, go for the 10. But what I want you to notice is that the liquidation price here versus liquidation price here, right? Liquidation price here is actually higher than liquidation price here. Why is that? Well, because you're adding more collateral. You're consistently adding more collateral. With the 10th loop, you've added the last bit of collateral, which makes this sort of safe. Now the numbers are going to be a little bit different here. I think at 10, you have, this is 2,000 more than what I'm projecting. That's because the fees are dynamic with Avalanche, and they can calculate that in real time. I can't calculate that in real time because, you know, gas fees are a little bit difficult for me to place, but they have access to all that information. So it's an imperfect calculator, but it gives you the basic idea. I wanted to build this for an educational purpose, which is what's going on with loops, right? So after each loop, you can see the amount of borrowed meme when that's converted into, this is your total meme borrowed at that point. The meme that is then added are, no. Right, with meme, I guess this isn't clear. I think maybe the wrap memo added is a bit confusing. So what this means is how much wrap memo has been added from the original just one wrap memo that you had. So at 10 loops, you're adding 2.2 wrap memo altogether, giving you a grand total of 3.22. And then your liquidation price. So I think it's kind of cool that it shows you your liquidation price. So base APY, looped APY, with 2 loops, 10 loops. Wow, amazing. Okay, so that's pretty much it, right? That's how looping works. All a loop does is it allows the protocol, usually through an access of your finance, to go ahead and take the borrowed money, purchase time, stake it, wrap it, collateralize it, right? Borrow against, buy time, stake it, wrap it, collateralize it. It just does that again and again and again, each loop, right? This is the highest I have seen the expected leverage, literally as high as it goes, is 1.7. So I'm really amazed that it's so high. I've seen it at 1.36 before. I've seen it at, you know, so anyways, really high leverage. You can change this, and this will actually change your price, or you'll change your expected liquidation because it'll give it less of a buffer. So keep that in mind. But let me just show you how to repay. I want to look at the documents actually, because it'll make it a little bit more clear. So I know how to get there. If I click this, I'll go to the docs. La 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 la. Swap the dashboard. Leverage yielding. How the process works. Okay, so when you want to deleverage, you can do it all at once, right? This is the cool thing about Abracadabra, is that you can click the deleverage button and you can repay everything and decollateralize everything all at once. So it's not going to liquidate you. You can unloop, pay everything back, all with one process, which is really nice. Now you can do custom amounts, but I think for most people, most of the time, when they're choosing to decollateralize, they're usually going to do a lot. But, you know, choose the percent that you want to do. Totally up to you. So click deleverage. You may have to do click deleverage, and then choose the amount of meme you want to repay, probably all of it. Choose the amount of collateral you want to remove, maybe all of it. I don't know. It's on you. But never remove collateral without repaying your meme. Again, never remove collateral without repaying the meme. Why? Because that will reduce your liquidation price very close. It'll increase your liquidation price very close to what you have. So like if there's a 3% change in the price, you'll get liquidated. So always repay. If you're gonna manually do it, always repay first, then move collateral. Never remove collateral first. You can, it'll let you do it, but you're really risking getting liquidated. So I recommend doing it with this automated process, this deleveraging process, because it just makes it so much easier. So much easier. So that's just over here. I don't have anything lent out right now, but you would see it here. You would see a little deleverage button that you would click, and then 100% on both of those to completely deleverage. All right, so I think that just about covers looping. If you want access to this calculator, you know, it's on my Patreon. I don't think this is a really, this was almost purely for educational purposes. But if you want it, it's on my Patreon. You can go ahead and grab it. If you're not a member of my Patreon, it's up to you. You don't have to join. I would like to remind everyone that with my Patreon, there is no benefit between donating $10 a month or $1,000 a month. There's literally there's no difference in benefits. So everyone of every income size will get the exact same treatment. That was intentional. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. This was definitely one of the videos where I want to say be smart, be safe, be safe, understand leverage, understand your liquidation, understand the liquidation buffer, right? And act accordingly. So it's really hard to access this one. I think Danny is hopefully ramping up more meme replenishes. I also heard today in his podcast that he's looking forward to starting to replenish the UST cauldron soon, which is the one where you can get 100% APR on stablecoins, APY, APR. So look out for that one too if you're on the Ethereum blockchain looking to do some stablecoin yield farming or some stablecoin staking with the degen box. Okay, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day.